Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Yikes. I apologize because when I was posting the second video, I actually ran out of space on my computer and didn't know it, so it took an extra 15 or so hours to post that video. And when it was finally posted, I definitely didn't feel like making this video. And I'm going to be honest with you, I've been trying to make this video literally all day, and I'm never going to be happy with it. I could talk about it for literally thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years and not get tired of it. So for me to put all this into a 15-minute segment doesn't make any sense. And on top of that, like I said, I'm never going to be happy with it. It's a sensitive, delicate topic that I have become desensitized to. So if I sound angry and rushed and fed up, it's because I am. So with that being said, let's get into it. We talked about magic. We talked about what it might mean to sell your soul, right? We talked about Satan. We talked about what his image portrays and what he might be going through while on Earth. So I don't want you to judge any of this. I want you to keep an open mind, okay? We're going to introduce to you who Satan is, and we're going to talk about it. So with that being said, here's Satan. It is the wonderful, glorious, literally perfect in every way child-born star Selena Marie Gomez. The reason why we know that this is Satan, the embodiment of Satan, is because of her birthday and her name. Her birthday is July 22nd, which essentially means she's going to be a builder all of her life. That's her life, is to build. Her name is Selena Marie Gomez. So if you don't believe me by her birthday, her name means moon goddess, which essentially assumes that she's not from Earth. Marie means wished for child, and sea of sorrow or sea of bitterness, which is almost like that fence, and then Gomez means man. So her vibration is moon goddess, wished for child, sea of sorrow, man. Alright, so now that we understand this, if you still don't believe me, we're going to talk about it. On her Instagram, which is one of the only ways that she can express herself other than through Twitter or through music, her bio says light, space, zest. That's God. So her first sentence is about God. And when we normally imagine Satan, right, we imagine him having his back to God and ignoring him and not acknowledging his existence, right? But her first sentence is telling you what she thinks he is and acknowledging him and bringing him to light. Because most celebrities don't do this. They don't acknowledge him. They don't talk about him. They don't, he's non-existent to most of these people. So this is special. Her second sentence says, with him on my side, I'm fearless, afraid of no one and nothing. So what she's saying is, because God has my back, I have nothing to worry about. I can get through whatever obstacles my life might be throwing me, right? And then right next to God, her third sentence is A21, Global Anti-Human Trafficking Organization, A21.org. So this is not information that she's just, here's a random fact, This is like, hey, I want you to see this, I want you to acknowledge this, I want you to put this next to God. And when we talk about this, okay, you got pro-choice, right, and pro-life, and these are two opposing, beliefs, but they're both pro, they're for something. Anti is negative. Anti is I'm against this. So anti is I'm against human trafficking. I'm against prostitution, right? There is no opposing side to this. It doesn't exist. This is the only option. And there's a reason why pro-prostitution and pro-human trafficking does not exist. It doesn't deserve to exist. There is no reason for it. With that being said, let's continue. She took a break, right, in 2018, September, and she finally came back in January, and she said, it's been a while. You can read it, but I'm just going to show you the images. She's looking to the right? She's looking straight at you. She's looking to the left. So the idea is she wants to be good. She's looking at you. She's in the act of doing bad, right? So the reason why we know this is because she's looking left, and it's in the dark, and it's in secret, right? And essentially she's on a mattress, she's on bed sheets, right? so we can assume what she might be going through and why she would be going against human trafficking. Okay? With that being said, we're gonna go to hands to myself to understand a little bit about where she's coming from. And I'm just gonna talk about the lyrics and the imagery. I'm not gonna play it because I don't really have time and I really want to talk about it. So she says, I can't keep my hands to myself no matter how hard I'm trying. So she's saying that she's living a promiscuous life even though she doesn't really want to. She says, I got my hands cuffed. I'm under arrest. There's nothing that I can do about this. And then she says at the same time, she wants to be married and she wants to be wedded. Okay? And then she goes on and she shows us a map, right? And then she flashes us an image of a man, right? And then she shows us X marks the spot, which is essentially where she will meet and be wedded to the love of her life. And then we continue, and then she says, I want you all to myself. Right here, right? And she's back on the bed. And then here's a little image of her looking at a watch with a fat, enormous wedding ring on, okay? So, again, she wants to be married, she wants to be wedded, but the time has not come around for that, right? So, with that being said, if you look into Selena Gomez's past, she's almost always had some type of ring on, like a purity ring, like when she was 17 or whatever. In a lot of her photos or images and stuff, she still wears a ring, showing you her intention, right? Her intention is she wants to be married, she wants to be wedded, right here. But then this is Coach magazine, or not magazine, but this is Coach. This is a high class brand, right? And she's got her legs open, which is not very ladylike, which means that she wants you to see this. She wants you to know, I'm living this life, even though I want to be married and wedded. My intention is to be married. Alright? So we know, because this is Satan, and because he lives in his own shoes, he's making pacts with people. So we're going to talk about that. The pact is seen in fetish, because the first lyrics are take it or leave it. Right? So we're going to look at what fetish means. Fetish means a form of sexual desire in which gratification is linked to an abnormal degree to a particular object, item of clothing, part of the body, etc. Right? So when she says you have a fetish for my love, she's saying that your want for me to love you is weird. It's not normal, and it should not be normalized. I don't agree with you. You're weird. That's what she's saying. But we're going to look into it. We're going to read it. She says, take it or leave it, take it or leave it, but I know that you won't leave it because I know that you need it. So she's saying to the people who are taking this offer, she's saying, I know you're not going to leave it because I know that you need my supernatural powers, right? So she's saying, look in the mirror, look at yourself. Then she says, when I look at myself, I see it clear why you want to be near. So she's saying, I'm gorgeous. I know that I'm gorgeous. And I see exactly why you lust after me and want to use me as a sexual object. She continues. She says, I'm not surprised. I sympathize. So she feels bad for them. And she says, I can't deny your appetite. She says, I'm not going to say no to you. I'm going to feed you what you want. I'm going to let you take advantage of me. Right? And then she goes on to say, you got a fetish for my love. Your love for me is weird. I push you out and you come right back. She says, I don't see a point in blaming you. If I were you, I'd do me too. So she's saying, your love is weird. I push you out and you keep coming back. So that's obsessive. And then she says, I don't blame you. I'm gorgeous. I'd want to do me too. And, that essentially is the heaven side of the pact, right? So if heaven is here and hell is the opposite, heaven's moving forward, hell is moving backwards, we're going to listen to fetish in reverse. to prove to you that this is not a human, this is not someone to play with, because no human would really go through the effort of speaking in English forwards and backwards at the same time and making sense. So we're going to listen to it. Alright, so she says, what'd she say? So she's saying, your love for me is weird and I don't agree with it, but I'm gonna let you do it anyways, right? And then at the same time, if you take this agreement, right, demons will throw you off. Maybe I'll buy you something. It kind of sounds what she says, right? So let's talk about it. When you make love, right, two people are becoming one, okay? So they're using her as a sexual object, right? So in human trafficking, in prostitution, this person is going to pay this person so that this person can use this person, okay? So what happens is this guy is going to pay her. She's going to do these favors for him, right? And then when they become one, she's going to stay the same. And this human who decided that he wanted to play with a non-human being is going to leave with demons, okay? And they might get what they want. They might get their, their money. She might buy them something, essentially. So she's weighing her options, okay? If she were to want heaven on earth, she has to get rid of these people who do not want heaven on earth, right? So she wants to be wedded and she wants to be married, but she knows that she's going to hell. So is she going to save herself and waste her time on earth? Or is she going to let these people take advantage of her, and then eventually when they die off, they're not going to be on earth anymore. They're going to be in hell for eternity. So, what makes sense? It makes sense for her to get rid of these people and send them to hell, right? So that heaven can exist on earth. And that's what's happening. And I would not mess with this person because it's not a person. She's speaking English forwards and backwards. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. In order for that to happen, God had to make those words make sense for her to speak. So, with that being said, why are you going to sign your soul over to Satan? It doesn't make sense. But we look into pictures of her throughout her life. She almost always has a purity ring on. So again, her main focus, her intention is to be married and wedded. It's just not the life that she can live. Okay? So we're going to listen to her talk, and we're going to see how she presents herself so that we know that she should never be used as a sexual object, and no woman should. But she should be respected for the knowledge and truth and words that she has to say.
I always like to have some sort of quality where I bring out the best in a girl. As I was that girl, I feel insecure all the time, I feel awkward, but it's something where I feel like I can connect with them through music, through film, and now I get to do it with this. Strong girl is something I try to be every single day, and it's so hard. It's so hard. So I think real strength is definitely vulnerability, honesty, and compassion.
She's a smart, beautiful, she's much more than just a body to play with. So with that being said, we're going to respect her as the being that she is and not just a human, because she speaks more knowledge and wisdom and healthy things than most people would ever be able to understand in their entire life. So with that being said, this episode is over. I'm going to post it, and I'm going to go on to the next episode soon, and we're going to talk about an example of someone talking about them selling their soul. The end.